White women are not funny. I'm just playing. Okay, it's very hard to get white women to make me laugh, but I compiled a list for us to check out these really funny white women in comedy. So we're gonna talk about 5 funny white women. Okay, so let's show some love to the whites. And I'm not talking LOL funny. I'm talking bust your gut type of funny. So let's check it out. Here's the countdown for the funniest white women in comedy. Ellie Kemper. Ellie Kemper is best known for her role as Erin on The Office. And the reason why I love Erin, and the reason why I love Ellie, and the reason why I love Kimmy Schmidt, and the reason why she made this list is because she makes awkward funny. Now, I don't know if this is a black thing or what, but black people just don't like silly stuff, I find. And maybe you're black and you think to yourself, I love silly stuff. I love Pee Wee Herman. I don't know, I just feel like that's silly, but I just don't find that funny as an adult. But Ellie Kemper is hilarious. Have you ever watched Kimmy Schmidt? She holds that show together. Between her and Titus, like, it's so crazy because I feel like Kimmy Schmidt got it right. Tina Fey, she wrote that script like perfect, because I really genuinely feel like if Kimmy wasn't on the show, Titus could hold the show. If Titus wasn't on the show, Kimmy could hold the show. And I'm like, that's hard, because it's always like the gay black best friend. Are we not tired of that? Let's not forget the bit, like on Bridesmaids. It was her first movie that she ever did. You remember, she was on the plane and she was talking to her friend. She sat next to the blonde chick. And she was like whispering to her and encouraging her. And I genuinely feel like Ellie Kemper is like that encouraging friend that loves everybody, because she even though she went through such a traumatic time, being locked up in a bunker, being stolen when she was a little girl, how do you make that funny? Ellie Kemper makes it funny. That's why she made top 5. Do you think Ellie Kemper is funny? I love her. I think you should check her out. And I think any woman that can go toe to toe with Steve Carell deserves. So babes, let's clap. Let's clap for Ellie Kemper. Number 4. Let me put in a quick disclaimer. I find them funny. I generally don't find white women funny. And look, I did some research and I talked to a couple of people. I do have white people in my life, and I have, of course, black people in my life. My husband is Caucasian. And I asked them, who is the funniest white woman in comedy that you know? And all I get is, So I did the work for us. I'm gonna tell you who's funny. So number 4, don't judge me, because I can feel the judgment coming on. Like, I can feel summer. Is Amy Schumer. Okay, let's talk about this, because yeah, I mean, Amy, she didn't start off funny. But I feel like in my heart and in my soul, she got there. She was like funny every now and again. And I did some research. She actually started on a reality television show, and she worked her way up. She started on Comedy Central, and she started getting popular from stand-up comedy. And honestly, I feel like it's hard out here for female comedians in general, not just white ones. And I really feel like she broke the barrier for like thick females in comedy for white women. Like, she was one of the first ones to come on the scene, and she didn't care what she was wearing. She didn't care how thick she was. She just was gonna get on stage and make some jokes. I didn't realize how funny she was until she did a movie called Snatched. That movie is so funny, and if you haven't seen that movie, you'll join the bandwagon with me and say, oh yeah, this white girl is funny, because she is hilarious. And then I was like, okay, because I wasn't really watching Amy like that. And then I found out that she writes a lot for Saturday Night Live. And I like that she's a writer. So after I watched Snatched, I was encouraged to watch her other movie called I Feel Pretty. And honestly, she co-wrote this movie. And like, being a thick girl, she wrote this for the thick girls. And I didn't feel like she wrote it specifically for Caucasians. So I watched it and I was like, okay, yes. Basically, it's about a woman who accidentally, she's insecure. She works in a basement, apparently, and she really wants to work for this really big magazine cover. And so she goes to an interview, and everyone at the magazine is, of course, super skinny, super pretty, and she goes in there and she's like in her little mini skirt or whatever, and she, you know, interviews for the job. So on her way home, she accidentally bumps her head, and she wakes up and she realizes how beautiful she is. Like, she imagines that she's just like this beautiful, fit, skinny woman. And so throughout the entire, most of the movie, she walks around as if she's just that. And in reality, nothing changed about her but her attitude. That's a sermon. That's a sermon. Because if you just adjust your attitude, things will start to change. So she was literally walking around like she was this bad, and nothing changed about her physically, but her confidence. And then in the end, she ends up, y'all, I didn't spoil the whole movie. I won't say nothing else. Go watch I Feel Pretty and let me know in the comments if you feel like it's actually funny. Let's talk about number 3. Now, okay, mind you, number 3 is not a white woman, but she's not black. So I feel like I had to put her in this list. And I also have some honorable mentions. So let's talk about, before we go to number 3, let's talk about these 2 white women that I actually think none of their movies are funny, but I feel like they're funny in real life. So the first one is Jennifer Lawrence. She, you know, she's been in everything. She's a really big star. She won an Oscar. She fell up the stairs. It was given silly. Like, she's funny in real, like very clumsy and funny in real life. I've watched a lot of her interviews. I watched a lot of her like behind the scenes, and the girl is funny. None of her movies are funny, and that's why she's just an honorable mention. Number 2, Emma Stone. Emma Stone is a funny looking gal. And that's like, if you funny looking, I feel like you just funny. So she doesn't have any funny, like, she does have comedic movies, like she is in comedies, but I don't find her funny in her roles. Like, when I watch interviews of her, she's funny. She's very quick to respond. Like, she's quick on her feet with like little bits, like in real life and like the interviews. But her movies are not funny at all. And every time I think about her, I just think about Natasha Bedingfield's song, I had a pocket full of sunshine. And now it's stuck in my head because Emma Stone put it there. So those are my 2 honorable mentions. Let's get back to my top 5. So back to number 3, Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling she was this close to making number 1. This close. The only reason she didn't make number 1 is because she is not Caucasian. But I want to put her on. I cannot make this list without Mindy. She is a producer, writer, actress, creative director. She's everything. She's the full package. She started her career in The Office, obviously, and she made this list because she makes dark things funny. Why do I connect with this? Because I feel like black people aren't serious. Like, we not gonna take nothing serious. We at your funeral laughing. and like, everyone's like laughing, and we at a funeral. So I think that black people find things that should not be funny absolutely hilarious. That is why Mindy Kaling made this list. Outside of her work with The Office, obviously she has the Mindy Project. The Mindy Project, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't finished it. I started it. I enjoyed a couple of episodes in season 1. Season 2 got funnier. But my favorite show from Mindy right now currently is on Netflix. You can watch it. She's not in it, but she wrote it. It's funny and it's also emotional. But it's on Netflix. It's called Never Have I Ever. But I think that Mindy is absolutely funny, and she can gag everybody out of the room. Like, think of your favorite female or male comedic, and she will match their energy, and she could probably be funnier. Like, she can hold it down in the room. Number 2, this woman almost made number 1, except number 1 is number 1. So number 2 on the list is Amy Poehler. We all know Amy Poehler. She's from Parks and Rec. She's the main character. If you haven't seen Parks and Rec, what is you doing? What are you doing? The same writer who wrote The Office wrote Parks and Rec. That's why it's very similar the way the shots are filmed. It's kind of docu style, but she's hilarious. There's not one episode on Parks and Rec that's not funny. Every episode is funny. And this list is not like, it's not chuckle, baby. It's LMAO. It's like, y'all, babes, I crack myself up. But that's the type of laughing I like to do. Amy does that for me. Like, okay, so her first movie that she ever starred in was called Baby Mama. What white woman is naming a movie Baby Mama? Tina Fey. So Tina Fey and Amy Poehler have been friends for decades, and they're really good together. And so Tina Fey started writing for Amy and all the things. I personally don't find Tina Fey funny, but I do find her writing funny. Like, she can write and somebody else could act it out, and it's so funny. But like, watching her in movies, I don't find myself laughing. But that Amy Poehler, I did a little cheer dance for her because she's so funny. She's hilarious. Baby Mama is hilarious. Parks and Rec is hilarious. So she went into animation, and she's like in Horton Hears a Who. She's in Aliens versus Monsters. Like, she really be out here. But the things that she has done is Chef's Kiss, and it's hilarious. So if you don't know Amy Poehler, you probably just got here on Earth. You need to go back and rewatch Parks and Rec, because I rewatched it recently, and when I say LMAO, I'm saying LMAO. And now, what you all been waiting for, the number 1 on my personal funniest white women right now that I know of. Before I tell you number 1, if there is another white woman that you find absolutely hilarious, please comment below. I'm rooting for them to be as funny as Martin Lawrence, as funny as Eddie Murphy, as funny as Dave Chappelle, because that man is hilarious. So if you know any white women that's funny, that's not on this list, comment below. Let's get into our number 1 pick, Melissa McCarthy. Duh, it's Melissa McCarthy, the funniest white woman out here. She will make you laugh in her commercials. Have you seen her recent commercial? Like, I was in the kitchen minding my business. I was watching The Price is Right. I have cable, YouTube TV. The Price is Right. It goes on commercial break. I'm in the kitchen, minding my business, scrambling up my eggs, and what do I hear? The voice of Melissa McCarthy. What do? I pause everything. All life stops because I hear her voice. And you know why? because I know she's gonna give me a good laugh. And maybe I needed to cheer up my morning. So I turn around and what's she doing? She's singing, and it's a darn travel commercial. And she's multiple, she's like 6 different characters. This is why she made this list. Because Melissa McCarthy can transform into so many different people. So she transformed in this commercial, mind you, a commercial that's like 2 minutes. She changed clothes, changed style, changed wigs, changed voices 6 different times. And she's singing. Like, she doesn't talk at all in this, in this commercial. And she's singing, and when I tell you, I was cracking up. And it's like, that's one reason why she made this list. You may know Melissa McCarthy from Gilmore Girls. She plays the cook, the baker, and Lorelai's best friend. She actually met her husband on set, and they've been together ever since. And if you are a big Melissa McCarthy fan, she puts her husband in all of her movies. He's either like playing like a background character, and he has like a couple of lines. If you watch Bridesmaids, if you've ever seen Bridesmaids, he actually played the security on the airplane who arrested her friend. And they sat next to each other, and that bit was so funny. They sat next to each other, and she knew that he was like a undercover security, because, you know, on planes they will put police officers on there that's dressed like regular people, and so that's who he was playing. And so she allegedly in this movie works for the CIA, and she could like spot him, and they were going back and forth, and come to find out he was undercover. And so just little bits, go back and watch it. It's super hilarious. And then now that I'm thinking about, also in Bridesmaids, they have like the diarrhea bit that they do. It's so gross, but it's so funny. I just watched a movie with her that she did for, I want to say HBO. Okay, so she has a movie called Super Intelligence on HBO. She did I think it's, I want to say it's a movie on Netflix called The Starling, which it's mostly serious, emotional, but she also obviously is a comedian, so she does throw in a little bit of humor. This is why she's my #1. If a Melissa McCarthy movie comes out, I'm going to watch it, period. Cut her on, and you watch her, and you laugh. Okay, also, I'm a huge fan. So, okay, also I want you, just in case you are sleeping on Melissa McCarthy, let me give you some things you need to watch to get where I am, where I think she's the funniest white woman in comedy. You have to watch 9 Perfect Strangers, another serious type drama show, but somehow it's funny as well. It's on Hulu right now, and it's so good. Like, it's like a mystery, and I love a good mystery where I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. But it like draws you in. So that's a good one. Mike and Molly. So Mike and Molly is very funny. It actually reminds me of The King of Queens. It's just very like, you know, it's like a television show that you can pop on. And lastly, I would suggest God's Favorite Idiot. This show, she is playing alongside her husband, and this is the most recent thing that she's done. So check that out. That's it for me. I did the hard work here, and I feel like your job is to tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong, that these aren't the 5 funniest white women in television today. Tell me, because honestly, before we wrap this up, I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy watching SNL anymore because they don't have any funny white women on there. Maybe I'll do a show, maybe I'll do an episode about what the heck is going on at SNL, because most of their bits are garbage. You think about the OGs that used to be on SNL, and it's just SNL ain't SNL no more. It's like, But anyway, so if you like my list, like, comment, subscribe. If you don't like my list, like, comment, and subscribe, or dislike. I don't care. Just leave a comment. Let's talk about it. Engage with each other. Let's debate this. This is an important topic. Watch, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching Little Miss Popular. I'll talk to you later, babes.